What are you seeing in the window industry right now? Are you seeing it up, down? What are you kind of hearing from your perspective? You have a very unique perspective where you're running a window manufacturing company.
So now we get into the metrics. It's always the fun to talk about what's happening. What was the prognosticators at the beginning of the year were talking about three drops in interest rates, and they were talking about a continuous flow of remodeling, um, as well as my space right now is a lot of new construction. Um, there is growth this year, especially. I mean, my footprint, our company's footprint, better stated, is within the southeast. But there is growth that's happening right now. The matrix don't show that with regards to interest rates or some of the closings that are happening on the new construction side. Remodeling showing that, even though it might be incremental, it's showing some growth. Um, so that's what we're looking at. Listening to the suppliers, they make it sound like it's flat, but in other areas it sounds like there's some growth. Um, I still am always an optimist. I still continue to see it even post COVID. I mean, post COVID really changed the dynamic for everybody. And we
Yeah.
were blessed in many ways. It was a blessing and a curse. And everybody knows what the blessings were with regards to volume and revenue. The challenges were, of course, were what we're having with our supply chain. That's all flattened. The supply chain is good to go. There are hiccups. We've had a couple of hiccups this year, but everybody seems to be working through them. But right now, the growth is going to continue the way that I see it from what I'm looking at. So,
Yeah, and you're working with some very good companies as well. And so what we've seen is, from our side, there's a lot of companies that are growing at a smaller rate than they have over the last handful of years, but they're still growing. And those are the companies that have a solid foundation, that have their process down, that didn't take their foot off the managerial button during COVID and have bad habits. On the other side, I have talked to people where leads are down or revenue's down. Um, and, I think there's a version of kind of revisiting the whole business process right now. Like, people want to make their business more efficient just in case. And so call it a reorganization of how things are done within the scope of how things should be done for these companies. And so people are trying to, trim their teams and hire A players instead of, trying to work with what they got to just keep the wheels going. Because yes, there are opportunities out there. The amount of money is still huge for this industry. When we say it's down 10%, even 15 or even 20%, if you back out the COVID years, like you said, the good times, it's really not that far down. If you were to take out a year by year trajectory of what it would be, you would still say it's up from 5 years ago, even though you see all this through COVID, right?
right.
So the good companies are well positioned to grow, and the companies that are not, ready to grow or financially stable enough to invest in marketing and advertising during the times where the revenue is not coming in like it was yesterday, they're gonna get hit.
Yeah.
Um,
The window space is definitely that. Everybody sees what's happening this year with um, all the companies that are either being bought or there's changes afoot within our space on the window side. I think it's all throughout the building product industry, but I think you really addressed it. Everybody's looking at who are my A players throughout the organization, and we are not just tweaking the people and making sure that we have the right people in the right positions. We are also the investments now. Here, we specifically invested in a new ERP system. We're getting ready to make the next step forward in a lot of different ways, but finding the key parts of your organization that you can tweak for the next phase of growth as we continue into the next 10 years, I mean, no one can really tell. But this year, I see that a lot of the companies, a lot of people that I'm talking to are definitely investing, and they're looking at the right people, key people.